Most people destroy their blessings before they even arrive. They speak too early. They announce too much. They expose what Allah intended to grow in silence. Ibn Arabi warned that rizq is not lost by poverty, it is lost by noise. What if I told you that the wealth, the opportunities, and the divine blessings Allah has written for you are already on their way, but they will only reach you if you stay silent, patient, and disciplined? In this video, you will discover 7 powerful lessons from Ibn Arabi that reveal why announcing your wealth too early can destroy it, how silence protects your dua and blessings, why Allah only reveals what you are ready to receive. If you watch closely and apply these lessons, you'll never see wealth, success, or divine favor the same way again. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand how to protect what Allah is preparing for you, and why the quietest growth often leads to the greatest blessings. 1. Rizq is a trust, not an announcement. Ibn Arabi taught that rizq is not something you chase, display, or declare. Rizq is an amana, a trust placed in your destiny by Allah, and a trust is never exposed. When Allah decides to prepare wealth for someone, He does not place it in their hands immediately. He places it first in the unseen, in intention, in patience, in discipline, and, most importantly, in silence. Most people think wealth begins when money appears. Ibn Arabi would say wealth begins much earlier when Allah tests whether you can carry it without corrupting it. This is where many fail. They speak too soon. They celebrate too early. They announce what Allah has not yet completed. But a seed does not grow faster because you dig it up. Every time you expose it, you interrupt its process. Rizq works the same way. The more it is exposed before its time, the more fragile it becomes. Ibn Arabi warned that announcing future blessings is not confidence, it is impatience, and impatience weakens divine trust. When Allah gives you a sign of coming wealth, He is not inviting noise, He is inviting responsibility. Silence is the proof that you understand the weight of what is coming. Because what is truly yours does not need witnesses. And what is still forming should not be touched by the tongues of others. Rizq survives in secrecy. Barakah grows in quiet obedience. This is why the wise protect their future blessings by staying silent today. Not because they fear people, but because they respect Allah's process. 2. Silence protects what dua creates. Ibn Arabi taught that dua is not just words spoken to Allah. Dua is a process that continues even after the tongue becomes quiet. Most people misunderstand this. They believe once they make dua, the work is finished. But Ibn Arabi explained that the moment a sincere dua leaves your heart, it enters the unseen, and the unseen is delicate. What is delicate must be protected. This is why silence becomes essential after dua. When you speak about your dua too much, you expose it to doubts, opinions, and energies that were never meant to touch it. Ibn Arabi warned that many duas fail not because Allah rejects them, but because the person interferes with them. They keep speaking, they keep explaining, they keep seeking reassurance from people instead of trusting Allah. Every time you repeat your intention publicly, you weaken its purity. Dua works best when it remains between you and Allah. The less people know about it, the stronger it becomes, because secrecy preserves sincerity. Silence after dua is not a lack of faith. It is the highest form of faith. It means you believe Allah heard you without needing confirmation from anyone else. Ibn Arabi described silence as a spiritual shield. It protects what you ask for while Allah is arranging its arrival, and during this period, Allah is watching one thing closely: your patience. Can you wait without announcing? Can you trust without proof? Can you stay quiet while the unseen is moving? Those who can remain silent after making dua are the ones whose dua matures safely, because what Allah builds in silence arrives with strength. This is why Ibn Arabi said that silence is not empty. Silence is filled with divine activity. What dua creates, silence protects. 3. Envy is real, even when people say nothing. Ibn Arabi warned that not all harm comes through open hostility. Some harm arrives quietly, through hearts that envy without speaking and eyes that smile without peace. Many people believe envy only exists when someone openly shows jealousy. Ibn Arabi rejected this idea. He taught that envy is most dangerous when it is hidden because it moves without resistance. This is why Allah Himself commands protection from envy in the Quran. Not because envy is rare, but because it is common and often unseen. Ibn Arabi explained that when you speak openly about coming blessings, you invite the attention of hearts that are not ready to accept your growth. Not everyone who listens to your plans is capable of carrying good intentions for you. Some people do not want your wealth. They want the removal of your peace. Envy does not always wish to take what you have. Sometimes it wishes to stop what is coming, and it does not need words to do so. This is why Ibn Arabi advised silence not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Silence limits exposure, and limited exposure reduces spiritual vulnerability. Your future risk does not need to pass through the hearts of others before it reaches your hands. Allah did not assign people as guardians of your destiny. When blessings are still forming, they are sensitive. Like light in darkness, they attract attention. Ibn Arabi taught that concealment protects formation. This is why the wise do not reveal their future until it becomes their present. And even then, they remain restrained. Because envy fades when there is nothing to see. Silence is not hiding. Silence is safeguarding. 4. Allah tests the tongue before the wealth. Ibn Arabi taught that before Allah places wealth into a person's hands, He places a test upon their tongue. Most people believe the test of wealth begins after money arrives. Ibn Arabi said it begins long before that, when nothing is visible yet, when nothing is confirmed, and when silence becomes difficult. Because the tongue reveals what the heart cannot hide. When Allah intends to elevate someone through wealth, He first watches how they behave while they are still waiting. Not how loudly they hope, but how quietly they trust. Not how much they desire, but how well they restrain themselves. This is where the real test begins. Can you hold good news without sharing it? Can you feel opportunity approaching and still remain silent? Can you sense that something is changing, yet not rush to explain it to others? Ibn Arabi explained that the tongue is the doorway to many losses. A careless word can expose what Allah intended to protect. A single announcement can invite interference into a divine process that required patience. This is why silence is not accidental. It is a discipline. Allah tests whether you can govern yourself before He allows you to govern wealth. Because wealth amplifies what already exists within you. If impatience lives in the tongue, wealth will magnify it. If restraint lives there, wealth will be carried with wisdom. Ibn Arabi observed that many people are denied lasting wealth not because they are unworthy, but because they fail the early tests. They speak about plans too soon. They explain opportunities before they are secure. They describe futures that Allah has not yet completed. And in doing so, they reveal a lack of trust in divine timing. Silence in Ibn Arabi's teaching is proof of submission. It shows that you understand that Allah does not need your announcements to fulfill His decree. What He has written does not require your narration. The one who speaks too much while waiting is often trying to control outcomes. The one who stays silent has surrendered control. And surrender is a condition for barakah. Allah watches closely during this stage. He observes how you behave when you could speak, but choose not to. When you could boast, but choose humility. When you could seek validation, but choose reliance on Him alone. This is why many people receive signs of coming wealth, yet never reach it. The test was not the money. The test was restraint. Ibn Arabi taught that silence polishes the soul for what is coming. It creates space within a person, space that wealth can safely enter without destroying them. Because wealth is heavy, and only those who can carry silence can carry abundance. If Allah sees that you cannot control your tongue, He delays the blessing, not as punishment, but as protection, because premature wealth can break a soul that has not yet learned restraint. So, when you feel something good approaching, resist the urge to speak, not because you fear loss, but because you respect the process. The tongue that obeys before wealth arrives is the tongue that will not destroy it after it comes. This is the test Ibn Arabi warned about, and very few pass it. 5. Loud wealth leaves quickly, quiet wealth stays. Ibn Arabi observed a truth that few truly understand. What arrives loudly often leaves just as quickly, while what comes quietly endures and strengthens. This is not merely a worldly observation. It is a spiritual law that governs the flow of blessings, the preservation of rizq, and the readiness of the soul to receive what Allah intends. Most people misunderstand wealth. They see it as a goal to chase, a prize to display, or a measure of their success. And because of this misunderstanding, when wealth comes, they announce it too early. They brag before they stabilize it. They explain it before they understand it. They display it to the world as though their blessings need validation. Ibn Arabi warned that this is precisely how wealth is lost. Loud wealth attracts forces beyond our control. When you expose your blessings before their time, you invite the gaze of envy, the interference of those who wish ill, and the pressure of expectations that were never meant to burden you. Exposure itself becomes a threat. Wealth is not destroyed simply by spending. It is destroyed by the state of the heart that carries it. And a heart that cannot remain quiet, a heart that seeks recognition or approval, cannot carry the weight of true blessings. Pride sneaks in, subtle but powerful. Ego inflates. Gratitude becomes secondary to attention-seeking. And when this happens, even wealth that was destined to last becomes fragile. Ibn Arabi described this fragility as a spiritual imbalance. The blessing arrives, but the soul is unprepared to hold it, so the blessing dissipates. Consider the way nature handles growth. The strongest trees, the ones that survive storms and seasons, do not begin their journey in spectacle. Their roots grow quietly beneath the soil. Their branches stretch slowly toward the sun, unseen and unnoticed. Seeds that announce themselves loudly often die before they can take root. Wealth behaves in the same way. What arrives loudly is exposed, vulnerable, and often short-lived. What arrives quietly, nurtured in silence, becomes enduring. Loud wealth seeks validation. Quiet wealth seeks balance. Loud wealth becomes performative. Quiet wealth becomes stable. This is a profound distinction. When you broadcast your blessings, you attach your identity, your worth, and your ego to them. And the moment wealth becomes a reflection of pride or self-importance, it is no longer a blessing. It is a test, one that many fail. Quiet wealth, however, does not demand recognition. It arrives, it settles, and it strengthens quietly. Ibn Arabi emphasized that Allah tests the soul long before wealth arrives. Wealth is not merely a gift, it is a reflection of the readiness of the person who will carry it. Allah watches how a person behaves while they are still waiting. Can they remain patient? Can they trust without evidence? Can they accept the unseen? Can they restrain their tongue, guard their words, and protect their intentions? Those who speak too much, who announce upcoming opportunities or blessings, reveal impatience and weakness. They reveal a lack of trust in Allah's timing, and impatience has consequences. Wealth, when approached with restlessness or loudness, becomes fleeting. It may arrive briefly, but it slips away faster than it came. It leaves a person not only without the blessing, but burdened with lessons that could have been avoided through restraint. Quiet wealth, by contrast, arrives to those prepared to receive it with wisdom. Ibn Arabi observed that Barakah follows restraint. When blessings are kept private, when they are received humbly and carried with discretion, Allah strengthens them. They do not become tools for pride. They remain instruments of stability and purpose. Quiet wealth enters a person's life gently, harmoniously, without causing upheaval or drawing attention. It settles into the soul, forming the foundation for growth that is deep and enduring. There is also a subtle spiritual principle at work. Loud wealth draws attention not just from the people around you, but from the unseen forces that surround us. Attention itself carries energy. And when your blessings become a spectacle, they invite interference, envy, distraction, temptation, and obstacles that seek what has been exposed. Quiet wealth avoids these dangers because it grows in the protective silence of divine orchestration. It is nurtured in the unseen before it emerges fully into the visible world. Ibn Arabi also warned that wealth is heavy, but it is heavier still for those unprepared. Only a soul disciplined in silence, humility, and restraint can carry it without faltering. Those who display their wealth openly before they are ready are like someone trying to lift a weight that is too large. The more they struggle, the more likely they are to falter and lose it. Quiet wealth, on the other hand, moves steadily, arriving in a soul prepared to bear it without corruption. Even human behavior reflects this truth. Those who chase recognition, who boast about their achievements, or who constantly seek approval often fail to sustain their success. They are distracted by validation and influenced by external judgment. Those who act quietly, working behind the scenes with patience, rarely need recognition, yet they often achieve greatness that is lasting and undeniable. Wealth functions in exactly the same way. Loud wealth is exposed to forces that destabilize it. Quiet wealth matures safely, enduring beyond expectation. Ibn Arabi's advice is both simple and profound. Receive quietly, carry quietly, and let Allah reveal quietly. Do not feel the need to explain, justify, or advertise your blessings. Let them unfold naturally. Let your actions reflect gratitude, not pride. Let your heart remain steady, even when the world measures success by noise and display. The quieter your wealth arrives, the safer it is. The stronger it becomes, the more it can serve its divine purpose. Because loud wealth leaks through careless decisions, through jealousy, through pride, and through the incessant need to prove oneself. Quiet wealth, however, is protected by patience, humility, and divine oversight. It remains long enough to transform the soul and serve the destiny Allah has written. Ibn Arabi said that the soul ready to carry quiet wealth is disciplined, patient, and trusting. It does not rush, it does not flaunt, it does not seek applause. It does not allow envy to dictate its actions. And because of this readiness, the blessings that arrive quietly are the ones that endure. So if you are waiting for what Allah has promised, or if you sense your provision is approaching, do not announce it prematurely. Do not explain it, justify it, or display it. Receive it quietly. Carry it humbly. Protect it with silence. Let it arrive. Let it stay. Let it transform your life in ways you cannot yet understand. Because the loudest wealth leaves quickly, and the quietest wealth endures forever. 6. Allah reveals at the right moment. In the world of humans, timing is always misunderstood. People rush, people force, people attempt to shape outcomes with their limited understanding, thinking they know what is best. Ibn Arabi warned against this impatience. He taught that divine timing is perfect, and that every blessing, every provision, and every moment of wealth is revealed only when Allah wills it, and not a second sooner. Most of us cannot resist the temptation to announce, to display, to explain. We see an opportunity forming, a door about to open, and we think we must prepare the world for our arrival. We speak too early, we plan too loudly, we invite witnesses before the blessing is even complete. And yet, Ibn Arabi insists, the one who speaks too soon interrupts the natural unfolding of Allah's plan. Allah's timing is not based on human schedules. It is not dependent on applause, recognition, or validation. It is not influenced by impatience. It is exact, it is deliberate, and it is precise. Ibn Arabi emphasized that when Allah intends to reveal a blessing, it comes in a way that cannot be replicated, duplicated, or obstructed. But the moment we attempt to force it, to announce it, to control it, we open the door to interference, envy, and spiritual distraction. Think of wealth, opportunities, or divine favor as a seed planted in the unseen. A seed cannot grow faster because we speak about it. A seed cannot mature by being displayed to the world. And yet, people behave as if talking about their blessings will help them arrive sooner. Ibn Arabi warns that talking too soon is often the first step toward delay, distraction, or loss. The moment we speak prematurely, we are testing the very law that Allah has set. We are questioning the wisdom behind divine timing. And Ibn Arabi repeatedly reminds us that the one who trusts in divine timing will always receive the blessing at the perfect moment, in the perfect way, and with the perfect measure of barakah. Consider this. Many people make dua for wealth, success, or opportunity, and they act impatiently. They share their prayers, their intentions, their upcoming opportunities with others. They expect immediate signs. They compare their progress to others. And sometimes they grow anxious when nothing seems to happen. But Ibn Arabi teaches that the test is not whether the blessing arrives immediately. The test is whether the heart remains patient, silent, and trusting while Allah is preparing what is meant for you. There is wisdom in delay. There is barakah in restraint. And there is protection in quiet. Ibn Arabi explains that Allah often keeps blessings hidden until the recipient is fully prepared spiritually, mentally, and emotionally to handle them responsibly. Because what arrives too early, too loudly, or without readiness can become a curse rather than a gift. Many people misunderstand the phrase divine timing. They think it means waiting passively while doing nothing. But Ibn Arabi clarifies, divine timing works hand in hand with human effort, patience, and self-discipline. You work, you strive, you make dua, you prepare, but you do not reveal, display, or force what has not yet been completed. You wait, you trust, you guard your tongue and your intentions. You allow Allah to orchestrate the revelation. This is where silence plays its greatest role. Silence is not absence. Silence is active preparation. Silence protects the blessing while it is forming. Silence allows the unseen to remain undisturbed. Silence strengthens your patience, purifies your intention, and preserves the barakah. Ibn Arabi emphasized that the tongue that rushes often breaks what was meant to endure, while the heart that waits quietly will see what was promised arrive at the right time. Timing also applies to recognition. Many people fear that by staying silent, others will overlook them. Ibn Arabi warns against this fear. What Allah intends to reveal will be recognized at the perfect moment, without explanation, without announcement, and without premature justification. If something is meant to benefit you, it will reach you, even if the world remains unaware. If it is meant to grow quietly, it will grow quietly. And if you rush to announce it, you may invite interference that delays or diminishes it. Consider how the universe itself operates. Seasons do not rush. Rivers do not demand attention. Trees do not flaunt their growth. The sun does not hurry its rise. Everything unfolds according to precise, perfect timing. Ibn Arabi teaches that our lives, our wealth, and our opportunities follow this same law. Impatience cannot accelerate the process. Announcement cannot summon the outcome. Only trust in divine timing ensures the blessing arrives safely and fully. Even more, Ibn Arabi explains that the timing of revelation is also a spiritual test. Allah watches not just for patience, but for integrity. Will you stay humble while preparing to receive? Will you keep your intentions pure? Will you protect what is forming without needing validation from others? Those who fail this test often find that the blessing, even when it arrives, does not settle fully or does not last. Those who pass this test find that when Allah reveals, it arrives in a manner beyond expectation, perfectly timed, completely measured, and fully protected. This principle applies to all forms of divine provision: wealth, opportunities, guidance, spiritual insight, and personal growth. Ibn Arabi repeatedly emphasizes that divine revelation respects silence, patience, and humility. Announcement, pride, and impatience, on the other hand, invite delay, disruption, and even loss. In practical terms, this means that when you sense that a blessing is near, perhaps a job opportunity, a business prospect, a spiritual insight, or a personal transformation, your role is not to broadcast it. It is not to share it with everyone around you. It is not to seek recognition or approval. Your role is to prepare internally, to strengthen spiritually, and to wait for Allah's timing to manifest it externally. Ibn Arabi assures us that if Allah wills it, it will happen, and no one can prevent it. Conversely, if you interfere with the process by forcing disclosure or seeking attention, you may unknowingly delay the blessing or diminish its fullness. Timing is divine. Your patience is the measure of your readiness, and your silence is the shield that protects what Allah is preparing. The ultimate lesson here is clear. Allah reveals blessings when the time is right, not when the world demands it. And Ibn Arabi teaches that those who understand this principle are the ones who receive wealth, opportunity, and guidance in a manner that lasts, transforms, and endures. Those who rush, announce, or force often receive fleeting gains but not enduring blessings. So let this lesson resonate deeply. Wait, trust, prepare, remain silent. Protect the unseen until Allah chooses the moment to reveal it. Do not measure progress by visibility. Do not seek confirmation from others. Do not rush the divine schedule. Every blessing has its appointed time, and only when the heart is ready and the conditions are perfected will it appear fully measured, fully protected, and fully yours. Because Allah's timing is perfect, and He reveals only when the moment is ready. Silence is your ally. Patience is your strength. Trust is your shield. And the blessing will arrive exactly as it should. 7. The chosen are recognized by quiet growth. Ibn Arabi observed a truth that many overlook. Those who are chosen by Allah for lasting success, wealth, or divine blessing are always recognized not by noise, but by quiet growth. The world may applaud those who make a spectacle, but true elevation comes silently, unseen by the eyes of many, and often unnoticed until the time is right. Most people believe that recognition comes through visibility. They think that the louder one proclaims their success, the faster doors will open. But Ibn Arabi teaches the opposite. True growth is measured not by how loudly it is announced, but by how deeply it takes root within the soul. Consider a tree in the forest. It does not announce its growth to anyone. Its leaves do not demand attention, nor do its roots seek validation. It simply grows, quietly, deeply, and persistently. And when the storm comes, the tree that has grown in silence is strong. Its roots are deep, its branches are steady, its growth is lasting. The noisy tree, planted in shallow soil, topples at the first wind. Wealth, opportunity, and divine favor function in the same way. Ibn Arabi explained that the chosen do not need the applause of the world. They do not boast, they do not explain, and they do not rush. Their growth is deliberate. Their blessings are prepared in the unseen. And they rise quietly, steadily, and with purpose. They are recognized by those who matter, not by everyone at exactly the right moment when the time for revelation arrives. This quiet growth requires patience and discipline. It requires a soul that can endure uncertainty without complaint. It requires a heart that can trust Allah when no one else can see the path. The chosen understand that divine blessings are not measured by speed, volume, or attention, but by sustainability, barakah, and alignment with divine will. Many fail this lesson because they confuse visibility with validation. They believe that if no one sees their progress, they are failing. Ibn Arabi warns that this is a false measure. The true measure of growth is internal, spiritual, and hidden. A person may appear stagnant to the world while quietly being prepared to carry greatness that will transform their life and the lives of others. The chosen are often tested in silence. They encounter opportunities that must be approached with care. They face wealth, knowledge, and guidance that must be handled responsibly. Ibn Arabi teaches that early exposure can destroy preparation. Premature announcement can invite envy, distraction, and interference. The blessing that is public too soon can be stolen, diminished, or corrupted. The blessing that grows quietly is protected, strengthened, and prepared to endure. Ibn Arabi's wisdom reveals a profound spiritual mechanism. Allah rewards those who carry their blessings with discretion. The quieter a person remains while preparing, the stronger the blessing becomes. The one who restrains their tongue, guards their intentions, and nurtures growth in silence is the one who will find their efforts multiplied and their rizq preserved. Think of all the people who rose to greatness quietly, without seeking attention, without announcing their intentions, and without rushing the process. Their lives are testimonies to this principle. Ibn Arabi emphasizes that this is not coincidence. This is divine law. The chosen are recognized, not by noise, but by the resilience, depth, and authenticity of their growth. Quiet growth also cultivates humility. Ibn Arabi teaches that humility is the foundation for lasting blessings. When a person grows quietly, they do not inflate their ego with premature success. They remain grounded. They respect the process. They understand that true recognition comes from Allah and those He wills, not from public applause. This principle applies to wealth, knowledge, spiritual insight, and personal development. The one who announces too early risks being distracted by validation. The one who grows quietly avoids interference, preserves barakah, and strengthens their capacity to carry what is destined for them. Ibn Arabi repeatedly warns, what arrives quietly will last, but what is exposed too soon will falter. Patience, silence, humility, and trust are the hallmarks of the chosen. These are the qualities that allow blessings to mature fully. And Ibn Arabi emphasizes that this is not passive waiting. It is active preparation. It is discipline. It is understanding the unseen, respecting divine timing, and nurturing the soul to receive what Allah has written. The chosen are recognized when the time is perfect. They are revealed when their foundation is strong. They are honored not because of loud displays, but because their growth is complete. And their lives often inspire quietly, influence deeply, and transform profoundly in ways that spectacle and noise never can. This is the ultimate lesson of Ibn Arabi. If you are preparing for greatness, whether in wealth, knowledge, or spiritual elevation, focus on quiet growth. Do not rush, do not announce, and do not seek attention. Let Allah prepare your blessings and trust that recognition and reward will come at the perfect moment. Quiet growth is the mark of the chosen. Silence is the shield of barakah. Patience is the proof of readiness. When you carry your blessings quietly, protect your intentions, and trust the divine timing, you will find that Allah reveals you, your provision, and your purpose in ways beyond imagination. The chosen are not the loudest. They are the ones whose roots run deep, whose hearts remain steadfast, and whose growth is quiet yet unstoppable. Because the world measures success by noise, but Allah measures it by depth. Because what grows quietly lasts forever. And the chosen are recognized by the strength of their roots, not the volume of their voice. Remember what Ibn Arabi taught us: the loudest wealth leaves quickly, and the quietest blessings endure forever. If Allah is preparing something for you, do not announce it too early. Do not seek validation from the world. Do not let impatience or pride destroy what is already written for you. Stay silent. Stay patient. Protect your intentions. Because what Allah gives quietly, no one can take away, and when the time is perfect, He will reveal it in ways beyond your imagination. Apply these 7 lessons to your life, and you will notice a change not just in how blessings arrive, but in how you carry yourself, how your heart grows, and how your trust in Allah deepens. If this message touched your heart, like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Soulful Way for more timeless wisdom from Ibn Arabi and the masters of spiritual insight. Stay humble, stay quiet, and let Allah do the revealing.